Good evening, everybody. This is your girl, Tysandra Barnes, and I'm coming back at you all once again to drop some more words of truth. I just want to say I am so excited that I finally moved into my new apartment. I don't have anything set up yet, but what I'm going to be discussing with you all is depopulation. You know, it's a depopulation going on within the black community. We steady seeing people getting shot. We seeing people coming up missing here. It was a report that it was an estimated amount of shootings within the Memorial Day weekend. They found the young lady who was brutally murdered, and her baby was taken out of her body. She was mutilating the baby. I don't think survived. They found her body this past month. It's another 16-year-old girl who then came up missing within the Hispanic community. Her and her baby is missing. We seen a lot of these young people coming up missing within the Chicago area, within the black and the Hispanic community. And something is very strange going on when you seeing all these people that's coming up missing for no apparently reason, without no motive. These people is not runaways. These people is not suicidal. But it's just absolutely strange that all these young girls is coming up missing within the black community and within the Hispanic community, not just in Chicago, but all over. But it's pretty much going on in Chicago. Every day it's always somebody coming up missing. You know, it's every day we finding a young boy, young girl coming up missing within Chicago. But to me, I just really believe that they are trying to decrease the amount, far as with the culture and with people out of the city of Chicago. You know, it's a lot of people that's with the horror organ trafficking here. It's a lot of people with the human and sex trafficking that's going on. It's a lot of wicked and evil things going on within the city of Chicago that people's not telling people about. And all these young people is coming up within this prostitution, as far as with young girls being used as sex slaves and hold against their will, getting strung out on drugs. And I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. We steady seeing all these shootings on the rise. I mean, it's not even summertime yet, and we seen an estimated amount of shootings within Memorial Day weekend. It was another young lady who was reported shot within the West Side, among her child. She was murdered and killed this week on Memorial Day. I think approximately over 40 plus shootings have taken place within the city of Chicago, and I just think it's absolutely ridiculous for this amount of violence to be going on within the city of Chicago, and it's not even summertime yet. But when you depopulate, you trying to decrease the amount of people, you trying to decrease something, and I really feel like this is what's going on within Chicago. You don't see a lot of these young people within the white community getting murdered and killed like this. You seeing more Hispanic and the black people within the Chicago area, and something is really wrong with that. You got a lot of people that's involved in wicked and spiritual cults that's not of good. Chicago always been a mean and crooked and evil city, and it's getting worse about the day. Far as these women coming up missing and dead and murdered, especially within the men. I just absolutely ridiculous how these people coming up missing and killed for no apparently reason, without any motives, and no one is saying anything. A lot of these missing people is not being reported on the news. You mostly see on social media, and I think you need to be more coverage about what's going on with that, far as with these young people coming up missing within the city of Chicago. And people need to wake up and see and pay attention. Don't seem to pay attention what's going on out here. With this violence that's going on within Chicago, and not just here but through all the world. And I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. People is not looking at the facts. People are so blind they don't want to hear truth. They're still stuck in their ways. They're still promoting the negativity and the garbage, with on social media. People are still telling too much of their business. It's certain things you don't have to tell on social media. People is meeting up with these people, don't know nothing about them, and people is not aware of the next person's attention that's on the other side of this phone. And people need to be aware and be on alert and watch their words and who they surround themselves with, because these people is coming up missing. These people is coming up dead. All these shootings and all this violence and all this dumb stuff that's going on within Chicago and throughout the world is just absolutely ridiculous. But it really saddens me to see all these young people coming up missing every day. Something is definitely going on, and people need to pay attention about this trafficking, as far as with the human and the organ, and also sex trafficking. I wrote a book, The Black Market. organ trafficking. I'm sorry, organ trafficking, the black market on Amazon.com. And I'm pretty much addressing the organ and the human trafficking that's happening around the world. Also with the sex trafficking. And it's happening right in our own world today. You know how people is coming up, organ trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking, and it's going on right in the city of Chicago. You know, with all these folks coming up missing back. This is not by coincidence. This human trafficking thing is really going on, and it's really taking place within the world. But don't nobody want to seem to pay attention to the truth of what's happening out here. These young girls and these people is coming up trafficked, and they coming up dead. And I wrote the book to expose truth, you know, what's happening in what our world today. You can go to Amazon.com and you can see the book, The Black Market. Organ trafficking, the black market, and it's addressing the organ and human trafficking that's happening in the world today. But I just wanted to share this words of truth with you all. You know, people need to be aware of what's going on within our surroundings, because people is coming up missing, and they're coming up dead, and it's happening at a rapid rate. You know, with these young people coming up missing almost every day within the city and within the world. Word was the truth.